Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Thanks for coming by today to watch as I participate in a Christmas in July YouTube hop with several other crafters. I will leave links to all of their videos down below, so be sure to check them all out. For my project, I am going to be scrapbooking this photo of my son from just 2 years ago. A little bit more about that later. And I am going to be using this Christmas tree border cut file from Paige Evans. I just found that on Etsy and I think it's really cute. And then I'm going to be building my layout on this piece of paper here. Now this is from the Noteworthy paper pack from Close to My Heart, and it's just a really fun grid paper, and you can see the one side has that distressed look to it and the other side is bright white. So I'm going to use the yellowed distressed side since that kind of matches the colors in my photo a little bit better. And I've cut out that cut file and I left the negative pieces on my Cricut mat because I thought it would be easy just to grab those triangles and cut out a backing piece myself since they're just triangles. And I'm going to be using some scrap pieces of paper from this collection here. It's called White Pines and it is still available, so I'll leave a link down below. And then my thought at this point is that I'll probably grab some of those stickers off the sticker sheet as well to complete my layout. So I did leave these on the Cricut mat so that way I could kind of do it in order and know which triangles went with which tree. So I am going to grab some of those scrap pieces of paper and then just hold that backing piece up to the paper and then cut around it, leaving myself probably about 1/8 of an inch all the way around the shape, so that way I can glue it to the back of this cut file. At this point, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that with the stars because I didn't really want to cut around those in this manner, but I thought for at least the trees and the trunks that those were easy enough shapes that this would be a fast way to back this cut file, and it wasn't too bad. It was really more a matter of deciding which pattern papers I wanted to go in which spots. So I did put down my all-purpose mat from Close to My Heart just because as I was working with this glue, I didn't want to get any of the glue on my workspace, so this was an easy way to kind of clean things up. And I am using the Barely Art Precision Craft glue, which is very easy to make a fine, thin line all the way around the backing of that cut file, and then I'll just stick the piece on top of it, and I'll go ahead and do most of that off camera so you don't have to see the whole thing. Now for the trunks, I did just use the scrap pieces that I had left over from the trees because Close to My Heart's cardstock is two-tone. So I cut this out on espresso cardstock and I used the darker side for the outline. So I was just using the lighter side to back the trunks on those trees, and I used those little triangles as scraps for the trunk, so it worked out perfectly. All right, you can see I've kind of done a combination here of some evergreen glitter paper and then some pattern papers from that White Pines collection. And I haven't treated the stars yet because, again, I'm not quite sure at this point how I'm going to deal with those. But this is my basic thought, is that this is going to go down towards the bottom of the page, and then this photo will kind of tuck behind them. I'm trying to place it so that the taller trees frame my son and don't really block too much of the picture. And then I thought, you know what, this needs to pop a little bit more off the page. So I grabbed some of this scarlet colored glitter paper, also from Close to My Heart, and I'm going to cut a very thin mat to go behind my photo. But I didn't want to waste any of it, so I gutted it out just to save that inner piece. You know, there's no reason to waste all of that glitter paper. It's so pretty. And then I did use some double-sided adhesive tape to glue this to the glitter paper just because I find sometimes it's harder to make things stick to glitter paper. And this seemed to work pretty well. So that's how I put my photo down on that mat. And there, I think that was just the right amount of pop. Well, since I've got all this glitter going on, I thought, well, I think I need some gold glitter stars. And I didn't have any gold glitter paper, but I did have this gold shimmer trim. So, and it's sticky on the back side. So what I'm going to do is I pulled out those stars, the negative pieces from that cut file, and I'm laying the shimmer trim over top of them. And then my plan is just to cut around the star and do a little bit of fussy cutting. And so that way it looks like the stars are just cut out of gold glitter paper. Even though I was using my non-stick micro tip scissors, which are really great for not sticking to things, it was still a bit of a pain working working with that shimmer trim because it is very sticky on the other side. So after about 2 stars, I got smarter and I pulled out my anti-static pouch from close to my heart. And then as soon as I would stick the star to the shimmer trim, I put the whole thing down on the pouch, and then there's a powder in it that basically will remove the adhesive from anything that is sticky. And so it became much easier to work with that way. And that way I could cut around it without having it stick to my fingers too much and kind of in general just be a bit of a pain. So like I said, I got a little bit smarter and I wished I would have done that for the first few. The other thing that I learned that it was too late to fix my mistake is I should have left those stars on my Cricut mat in the same way that I did the triangles, because I just pulled them all off and started working with them. And then I had a hard time figuring out which stars went with which trees. Surprisingly, it was kind of hard to tell, especially by the time I'd kind of cut around them and messed with them a little bit. So later I do have to kind of sort them a little bit and try to figure that out. All right, I want to add some gold splatters to the back of this paper because, again, all sparkly things for Christmas, right? And so this is the Gilt Gloss Spray from Dina Wakley. And again, I just put my all-purpose mat down. It's an easy way to clean up when I do this. And I like to just take off the lid of the gloss spray and then tap against it, and then it creates these really fun splatters. And truly, the camera does no justice to this because in person, these splatters are gorgeous. They just have all sorts of sparkle and shine to them, and they do dry pretty quickly. All right, so I'm going to cut out most of this because it was pretty tedious, but I did put foam adhesive to the back of all of my trees and stars. And so because those stars are so tiny, I was just putting little tiny foam dots behind it because that seemed to be the easiest way to make it fit without showing. And some of the dots I even had to kind of cut in half a little bit to make them smaller, but it did work. And so, like I said, lots of foam tape behind the tree cut file. And then those stars were so little and tiny that I did use my pickup tool, which just has like a wax tip and it makes it easy to grab things off your desk. So if you're like me with big clumsy fingers, that's a really great tool to use. Okay, I'm going to continue to kind of figure this out here. I put a little bit of adhesive behind my photo, but just in the center so that way I could still kind of tuck a few things. And then I will go ahead and pull all of the backing off of those foam pieces and get that cut file down. The grid lines on this paper made this very easy to get everything down where I wanted it to be. And so now I can kind of start building some of my embellishment clusters around this and also putting the stars into the treetops. Like I said, it was a bit of a puzzle. I'm like, how is this so hard? You would think it'd be easy to see, which size star goes where, but it was a bit of a challenge. But hopefully I got them all in the right spot. So just going to go around and stick those on top. And then my cut file will be complete. All right, so now I'm turning to that sticker sheet from that White Pines collection. And again, same trick, using that anti-static pouch to pull the adhesive tackiness off the back of my stickers so I can play with them a little bit before I commit to where they go on the page. Because I do end up moving that one, and I'm not really sure. I ended up pulling quite a bit of them off and moving them around the page before deciding which ones I was going to use in the end. So I did get a little bit stumped. I wasn't sure. I know I have a lot of journaling that I want to do to the right-hand side of my photo. So I'm leaving that space blank on purpose, and I will add my journaling off camera at the very end, so you won't see that part. So that's why there's going to be a big empty space there. But it also felt like this cut file was sort of floating in nothingness. So there were 2 sticker strips on that sticker sheet that are like border stickers. So I grabbed this pretty green one and I placed it all the way down underneath. And again, those grid lines came in very handy. And then there's another sticker strip on there that is like a red and white scallop, and I put that underneath the 2, and that seemed to work much better. It really kind of helped to ground that cut file in the picture so that they didn't just kind of seem to be floating in the middle of my page. So like I said, I do have a lot of journaling that I will be adding to this page off camera. This is a picture that my daycare provider took of my son 2 years ago, and she has been taking these pictures of my kids every single Christmas since they have been going there, and we have been going there for probably, oh gosh, it would be 8 years now. And so, she's a very important part of our family. And I just love it because she takes these photos of the kids and then she puts them in a little ornament and gives it to us at Christmas time. And at this point, my son was the last one who was going there because my daughters were in school, and this was the year before he started school. And so this was the last one. This was going to be the last Christmas ornament from Miss Debbie. And so it was just really kind of sad, and I wanted to document this photo. Plus, he looks so cute. So I definitely had a lot to say about, the role that she has played in our life and how much we treasure those little ornaments. And they are definitely my favorite ones that go on the tree every year. I love to line them all up with the kids and do them in order of their ages. So it's just a lot of fun to look at. Okay, so now that I figured out my stickers and my clusters up in the top left corner of that photo, I still felt like I had a lot of empty space up in the top right corner of my page. Like I said, I know where the journaling's going to go, but then that doesn't really extend all the way to the top. So I grabbed a couple more scrap pieces of paper from that White Pines collection, and I just cut varying sizes of them and dovetailed them, and I'm going to put them down as some flags, pennant banners up there, and I think that kind of helped to clear some things out. And then the more I looked at it, I really didn't like that green glitter paper, and I felt kind of bad covering it up, but I went ahead and cut some new triangles out of more of that pattern paper, and I'm just going to put 2 of them down over top of the green glitter paper, and I ended up liking the page much better after that. I like a little bit of shimmer and glitter here and there, but this page to me felt like there was like a lot of glitter paper going on. That's just really not me. So I liked the little pop of red behind the photo and the little strip of red that I have next to those stickers and the stars, but the trees, it was a little bit too much, and it was the only green glitter that I had going on in the page. So I was much happier once I covered up those trees. But here you can see some of the close-ups of that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and that you feel inspired. I know sometimes I struggle to scrapbook Christmas because there are always so many photos, right? So it's kind of nice to get started here in July. And like I said, there are a lot of other crafters who are participating in this hop, so be sure to check out their videos that are linked down below. And I am a Close to My Heart maker, and I will leave links to anything that is still available in my shop in the description box down below. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and happy crafting. Bye!